Hey leaders, thank you for leading this Sunday, December 17th. It's our third Sunday in the Advent season. Our first week we were together, we talked about Elizabeth's exclamation. And when we were kind of giving the kids the background on that one, we said we would get back to Zechariah. And this is his week. Last week was family service, and we talked about Mary's exclamation. So Zechariah's exclamation really kind of has two parts. The first part is talking about the fellow Jews and his ancestry and the history of what God has done in and with and through the Jewish people. The second half is prophesying about his son John and Messiah and all of that stuff. So we will, when we teach, we're going to have 3 readers and things like that, but we're going to intro it talking about history and people from history that we may have already studied about in school, but some that we may not. Just getting their minds going that way to people who came before us and have impacted the way that we live now. And then we'll go into the lesson and talk about those two things. Your application activities are both dealing with kind of history, your family. And so your physical one is going to be, I don't know how long it's been since you played London Bridges, but that's essentially what you're playing. I would please find a playlist on your phone or something like that. If you don't have that, let me know, and we'll see if we can set up some other tech for you. And just play sacred Christmas songs so we don't have any Santa Claus popping up. That is always a point of contention this time of year, and so we just need to avoid it. If it does come up, we're just, hey, every family's different. Let's Santa Claus is not for at church. You guys do that at home. Okay, and just avoid it. So you're gonna do the music, but you'll have the 2 people who are holding hands like this, and the kids are walking through. And whenever you pause the music, or whoever's in charge of it drops their hands, that person is going to tell you something from their family history. Does that make sense? And you have some question prompts in your at the back of the lesson plan that things like, what was a time that God comforted your family when things were really hard? Or a time he gave you a good idea, or a different family member a good idea, a time you were included, a time you were protected. So things like that, things getting them to think about their personal history with God, but perhaps their family's history with God. Things that God has taken care of and provided and walked with them through. Our creative one is thinking kind of very similarly. They're going to be writing poems, either an acrostic using their first or last name, or a haiku. And both are going to be really bad. Mine are horrific and don't even really qualify under either of those labels, but I will put my examples, well, they're in the lesson plan for you. So that you will have those and you can give them to them so that they feel better about theirs. So there are discussion questions in the lesson plan. They'll be printed in the room as well to help you link your time together, your application, to the Bible study. This is a really, really important aspect of the lesson every week. So questions like, why do you think it's important to remember what God has done? Has anyone ever spoken a blessing or prophesied over you like Zechariah did John? And then going down that road a little bit, does it have to be a parent blessing a child? Can friends bless one another? Can you speak hope and love to a friend? And then there's a couple of examples. And then if it has happened, what was that like? Did you like it? Was it weird? That kind of stuff. And the final kind of challenge question is, what can you do to be mindful of how God is taking care of you this week? So having them think through their personal history, but some of them will know family histories and things, and then going, okay, and what can we do this week to be mindful that God is actively taking care of you? So wrapping that back around. So that is our lesson this week. Thank you for leading.